Aldrich Pass, game number 1, everybody. Welcome to the winner bracket final. From here on out, it's all best of 5s. Yep, you absolutely heard that right. We have best of 5 matches. All the best of 3s are behind us. So now we're going into the winner bracket final, the losers bracket final, and of course the grand final. Those are the 3 matches that are still remaining. So we currently have 3 teams that are still in play. And at this point, Team Cat Red and the KD Agency are going to fight it out to determine which team moves on to the grand final first. So, the Underdog Cup continues. We are in the winner bracket final. We have Division 2 teams at this point left. And yeah, it's been an amazing tournament with an incredible amount of crazy comebacks, with games that just always went to the last map seemingly. So, very, very entertaining. And honestly, the perfect start and warm-up also for 2026, and therefore also for the Nations Cup. That is, of course, the next tournament here. We already had just now the sign-up phase actually end, and it's kind of bonkers. We have 28 teams that will participate in the Nations Cup, and we're going to cover every single one of them. So if you want to check out the Nations Cup, on the 31st of January, we have our first play day, and from that point onwards, every Saturday and Sunday, we have live games on the Twitch stream. Link, of course, in the description, and it's going to be epic. And this whole thing is going to last around 3 months. So we have a lot of teams, we have a lot of action, and it's pretty epic. It's going to be an awesome event. But of course, we're not quite done with this event here yet either. Now, in the context of this being a best of 5, let me once again remind everybody that heroes can only be played once within a series. That already affected the best of 3s that were played previously in the bracket. But now, this is of course going to play an even bigger role, since we might even end up on a 5th map where 40 heroes therefore will be unavailable. So this could actually impact the players and the teams here a lot. For game number 1, Aldrich Pass, we have Blaze as an early pick for Team Cat Red. And then over on the right side, the KD Agency with Rega and Sylvanas. Sylvanas has actually been banned a lot in the last few matches that we've seen here. But right now we get her together with Rega. Could push for structures a bit more aggressively, as the blue team went for Muradin and Whitemane. So we got already some nice stuns lined up for Team Cat Red. Falstad is banned, as so often, so this has been a theme over the last few matches, pretty much throughout the playoffs, honestly, that Falstad gets most of the time just eliminated quickly. Zagara also banned out, so no more pressure here. We could still get an Uberak, for example, for the KD Agency, considering that this is Aldrich Pass and you could try and sneak in an objective fairly quickly if you just spawn a couple of beetles, you know, and you do your thing there. But let's see what kind of approach they are going to take. Together with the Nubarak and Sylvanas, you would have a nice push team too. The Beatles always eager to soak up a couple of shots. But first we're getting Maiev and Leo, so it's going to be a triple front line for the KD Agency. And Maiev can also be very, very problematic here. Might change also the choice for the main tank, obviously. If you can follow a good tether up with an additional stun, that's always neat and might lead to kills. But for the blue team, as we're heading into the first game of the set, we are still missing the damage dealers, and they're starting to jump in with Lunara and with Malthael. So, Lunara, Malthael to round out the draft for Team Cat Red. And last but not least, on Aldrich Pass for the red team, of course, we still need the main tank here. With Malthael, we now have a tool that could use last rites. It's a triple front line as well for the blue team. The interesting part, though, is that we have seen a lot of Tormented Souls lately from Malthael and not all that much last right, so we'll see what they're going to do here. And, as already expected, Anuburak is the weapon of choice for the red team. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 1, Aldrich Pass. The first game kicks off, and we have the blue team over on the left side with Jayhard on Muradin for Team Cat Red. We got Onigiri on Malthael, Necro is playing Whitemane, we got Dryerlink on Blaze, and Urana on Lunara. So it's Bambi time over here, as over on the right we get the KD Agency with Simply on Anuburak. Kradodel is playing Leoric, the no-scope Ninja with Sylvanas, White Tiger on Maiev, and McGiblets on Rega. So, let the games begin. The winner bracket final, everybody. Best of 5 series, and we are off to the races. Which team is going to be able to make it work here? Obviously, we have the black arrows now for Sylvanas on level 1 with the pinnacle reward, and they're already trying to get some damage done at the top lane, and of course also stack her baseline. But, well, as it happens. The blue team was more or less ready for it, so they kind of shut that down early. Not really a lot that could be done here by the KD Agency. And it's actually a really interesting game too. KD Agency has in most of the tournaments where they were eligible to participate done very well in the Underdog Cups, and the question is simply if they can take down Team Cat Red here today or not. And with level 1 we're getting for Sylvanas the Overwhelming Affliction, pretty standard right here. Camps are of course by now up, which means that both of the teams are immediately going for the Mercenaries and try to pressure the mid lane a little bit. Nubarak, once that the objective spawns, can start to try and lock in an advantage for the team. It's a pretty attack-heavy lineup that they're running here, with Nubarak and also Maiev jumping in, of course. But if they can get those kills, time will tell. We had some interesting Lunara performances already in the losers bracket, if you watched all of the games there. Some absolutely crazy stuff, where she was just running circles around the opponent and more interested in the PvE damage than anything else. With a lot of success, I might add. Tether, though, against Muradin. Yep, and Jayhard is jumping out. So, able to just rush away. Again, it's the early game. Game number 1. Everybody is still taking this fairly easy here. A couple of rotations in an attempt to catch somebody. The Janitor also taking a bit of a break from coding and trying to take out the trash here in the game itself. So, yeah, good for him. We have level 4 talents kick in for both of the teams. No real surprises over here. We got throwing shade right now for Malthael. And no Sylvanas at the top lane. Kinda need to be careful here. But in the middle, this is where most of the aggression is still happening. It's obviously just Muradin's rotations that they need to pay attention to. On the red team side, it's mostly Maiev that they have to keep an eye on to make sure that she doesn't flank onto a side lane and catch somebody completely unaware. So they definitely have to be a bit cautious with that. Over on the right side, still the attack with McGiblets. The camp is back up and they're instantly on it. Same is happening with Malthael on the left. And now that the prisoner camps are coming up, this is where Nubarak could technically start to make a few plays. If he is able to sneak in and just get the team a bit of progress, it would put more pressure onto the blue team. Not talking about pressure. No Scope Ninja under pressure down at the bottom of the map and should be very, very careful here. Definitely needs a bit of assistance in order to make this work, and Rhaegar comes in to help out. 34 stacks currently on the baseline. Nubarak now coming in too, diving in from the side, misses the stun though. The tether is there on the other hand, but too much healing power from Whitemane as Lunara is kept alive and turns it on Maiev. Muradin is low, but, well, Maiev is dead. Yeah, the damage over time kicking in hard, and Muradin was able to save himself. So first blood secured. Team Cat Red was able to get the first kill. And they get an early level 7 as the reward too. On the flip side, we have of course Sylvanas with decent stacks right now. She gets 55, needs the 250 in order to get the first reward here. So that's something to work on. The red team now a little bit aggressive around the objective, attempting to get the lead here. And Nubarak nearly dying. Simply is low. Maiev comes in. They want the tether, they want the kill. They're going for Malthael. Their heals are there, but they're not strong enough this time. And that results in Malthael falling. Nicely done. Okay, at this point, we have a kill on each side for both of the teams. And now, down at the bottom of the map, still Urana jumping towards the middle. No progress, or a little bit of progress on the objective. Nothing insane, but they got a bit of progress here already. So the blue team is slightly ahead. And Nubarak is now doing exactly what you expect for him. Spawns a couple of beetles, starts the channel, and actually triggers the whole thing. Doesn't get a whole lot, but he gets a reaction out of the opponent. 3 of the heroes are immediately moving over, and that obviously is tying down some of their resources here, which is going to be pretty important too. We have overall top side still Blaze holding the line and the experience for the team. Blue team is a bit ahead. But we are seeing more and more activity around the objective as both of the teams are now eager to see if they might just be able to get the first wave in. Skullcracker on level 7 for Muradin. That's going to be pretty helpful also against Nubarak, obviously. Not the Frontier for the interrupts. Rhaegar gets the advantage for them again. Jayhard might be in trouble and needs to retreat. Gets the heals from Whitemane, but a lot of damage against Muradin, and it's not over yet. They get the stun out. Now Lunara is just dying to dance around them. But we have a lead in experience for the blue team that could very well end up with them getting level 10 abilities very quickly here. Mirrodin is in trouble though. Has to jump out, is barely able to escape, and it ends up with an objective in the hands of the KD Agency. They just gotta hightail it out of there before the heroics kick in for their opponents, and they're all able to escape. So really nice effort here from the KD Agency, able to get themselves the objective, and in addition to that, of course, they will soon get level 10 too. But the defense for the blue team should still be a fairly easy one. There's just too much of a window between the two of them. We again get Tormented Souls, by the way. So once again, no last rites. And we also have the Haymaker play for Mirrodin. So everybody needs to be very careful how they play this. The problem for the blue team is that they might actually lose Lunara here. Bambi is low, tries to get away, and then gets murdered a moment later. The tether hitting Whitemane. They're trying to get another kill. The fort already disabled. Whitemane on the run. You can run, baby. You can't hide. But she's actually pretty good at running. Has to be a French Whitemane. So is able to get out. But I gotta give it to the red team, given the fact that they approached all of this without a level 10 ability. That was pretty strong. So now we have Sylvanas at 160 stacks already, and they were able to open up multiple walls. They closed the gap in experience, maybe not completely, but definitely to a certain degree. And now they're looking very, very strong here. So 2 kills to 1, first objective secured. The blue team immediately with the move towards the boss though. And I actually don't think that the KD Agency has sniffed that one out yet. And they're not going for their own either, so they are completely oblivious from the looks of it. So this is going to come a bit as a surprise. I suppose at this point they will suspect something, but they're still not even double checking it. They're going for Blaze in the middle of the map, and they might get a kill here. They're at least forcing out the bunker. But now we could, for example, see the Entomb. Leo doesn't even drop that, and the boss is now taken at the bottom of the map. So a nice move by Team Cat Red that brings them now into a decent position once again around all of this. So yeah, job well done. That could have been much, much worse for the blue team. They were starting to fall a bit behind, but this was definitely solid. Now, with the disc out against Lunara, we have the attack coming up soon, TM. They're trying for another kill, and it seems like Bambi is out of luck for now. Yeah, the Wailing Arrow has hit way too hard. Lunara is gone, and that is the 3rd kill for the red team. They still got to deal with the boss, who's done a lot of damage. Objective will soon be announced again, but we still have that lead in experience for the blue team. Blue team still has an experience advantage that they keep running here. And it's working quite well for them. So they might be behind in kills, but generally speaking, they're doing still okay. Especially, of course, given the overall circumstances on the map. Next objective is now slowly coming up. But let's not forget that Sylvanas is also stacking quite nicely. 180 stacks currently, so roughly 70 away from hitting her first quest reward, and could then work towards the pinnacle reward. The Nubarak jumping out. He could try and get the next objective, of course, all the way up at the top now. So that would be the next move to make. But as it stands right now, I mean, we still have a bit of a pressure play at the bottom of the map with Lunara. They really want that fort, and they're getting extremely close to locking that one in. So maybe an opportunity to grab that first. They're certainly trying the best they can. And all the way up at the top, Blaze going up against the Nubarak, who's trying to body block him a little bit until reinforcements arrive. Nobody has really made a big play for the second objective yet, but as I already highlighted a little bit earlier, one of the most important things for the blue team is currently the attack at the bottom of the map, as they're trying to take the fort out. And they're doing pretty okay here, so yeah, this one's gone. Leo alone just can't deal with it, and now he is completely isolated and will fall. So they're getting a kill on Leoric, and that 1 level advantage is still being maintained. And Nubarak was trying to get a sneaky lead for the team, but that was shut down too. And all of a sudden it's 2 heroes down for the KD Agency. So nicely done by their opponents, Team Cat Red, with some really good progress on all of this. And they are potentially getting the next objective. They might even had a level 16 talent together with that, which would of course make the situation even worse for the red team. So, it's a nice back and forth on the first map, but I gotta say that the blue team is now pushing further and further ahead on this. 3 kills to 3, nearly level 16 talents for them. We got 25,000 damage for Lunara. 28,000 for Sylvanas. The disc is out. I mean, Maiev is obviously trying to net them kills and just create a couple of opportunities. And we have seen a few kills already secured by her. But overall, it's not really working the way that the team is expecting and is trying to. They kill Lunara again, so that's the good news. The blue team is attempting to get themselves a bit of a lead over here as well, though. And that's being shut down, but with Lunara gone, maybe now an opportunity to go for a few additional kills, and who knows, maybe even get a bit further. They take Blaze out, so kill after kill, closing the experience gap, good for them. Leo ghosting between the middle and the bot lane. We still have a Nubarak at the top, looking to go for Muradin with the rest of the team, and yeah, they're able to do well here. So Anubarak gets attacked and is about attacks and is about to murder Muradin here. And they're getting him, and the Cocoon is out and catches the next target. I mean, they're doing extremely good job here, just staggering kills against the blue team. Whiteman is now gone, the top fort is about to be destroyed. At least Marcel pushes at the bottom of the map a bit. But let's be honest here for just a second. The blue team was in such a commanding position. And then they just lost ground with one hero dying after another. Was honestly a little bit nasty. I mean, this just completely fell apart for them. Extremely weird. Now, Team Cat Red had a massive lead. They were ahead by 1 level. They had structures that they took out. And now it's even experience, more or less. A kill advantage for the KD agency. And the red team is trying to get the next objective. Sylvanas is by now at 270 stacks, so she already has the first reward here, which is going to improve her damage even further, and is working towards the pinnacle reward, as Lunara gets caught again and killed once more, and the timing couldn't be worse, just as the objective is going to come down. They're trying to follow that up with the second kill, try to go for Malthael. Onigiri gets the heals, still alive, and the Cocoon on Whitemane as they're instantly focusing on Muradin, and he's gone. Kill number 9 for the blue team. The red team is still able to get away with everything that they have. We have down at the bottom of the map, Leoric trying to also help the lane out a bit. Obviously the goal would be to at least take one additional fort out. The red team is, with a 5 versus 3, heavily ahead in numbers. But they were slacking a little bit in the mid lane and not immediately attacking together with the raiders. So now they have to focus onto the bottom of the map. Still some damage in the middle, but this one they should at a minimum take down right now. That would be an important one. Make sure that you at least get this one destroyed, and well, then you can play it out from there slowly. So another fort taken. Rotation towards the middle where they have another shot to claim this. Might be able to pull this off here. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, for now, they're taking the fort out, so good for them. Fort destroyed, and then the question, just if they're going to push this further. It's kind of funny to me, by the way, that even with the massive gap in experience and everything else that has happened, we see Team Cat Red still ahead in XP. It's not by much anymore, but they're still slightly ahead, and it's just totally wild. So, a little bit crazy how they're making this work right now, but indeed they do. So, interesting situation. We have camps taken, and still a boss at the top that they could technically also try to go for. The Nubarak is currently safeguarding the bottom of the map, and I don't think he can do anything here. He might be able to slow them down a little bit, but with Lunara in particular, this boss is going to be taken quickly, so each team is likely going to walk away with one. Yeah, and Nubarak saying hello, but he will have to jump out. They're going to still go for this. There's absolutely no way that a Nubarak can slow them down long enough. So each team is taking a boss. Top side has already been claimed. We're getting closer to level 20, of course, now as well. So it's going to be the next important one. And while all of this plays out, we still have in in stacks for Sylvanas 337. So yeah, she is getting closer and closer to the pinnacle reward. 43,000 damage puts her already into the top position when it comes to just raw damage output. Level 20 talents kicking in on both sides. And at least when we're talking about somebody like Lunara, we're now getting with for the Wildlands a lot of extra damage out there that they can obviously attempt to utilize. But for Sylvanas, again, once this quest is completed, it's going to be super interesting here. Get the extra heals, and yeah, there we go once again, up at the front with the Ancestral that comes out. And yeah, beautiful heal from Rhaegar. Might not be enough in the long run though, but Whiteman is down, so at least it's a 5 versus 4. Lunara is getting massive amount of damage in though, all over time. She finally falls, but Rhaegar and Leoric have both been eliminated too. And we have specifically Malthael still doing damage. Sylvanas is able to get away. 380 stacks for her. Whitemane. Whitemane is already dead, but Maiev is able to get herself another kill as she drops Blaze. Mirrodin misses the Stormbolt. Sylvanas tapping the fountain, and now back to business. Leo will also soon be back. So, yep, this is getting fairly interesting here, as Simply pauses the game. I mean, from the timing perspective, this could have been a lot worse. But yeah, pauses the game just in the middle of things, just as we have a bit of a breather during all of that. It's a 3 versus 2 now on the map, and we'll see how this continues. But at least for now, we have still an advantage on the side of the red team. They are ahead in structures, heavily ahead in structures, I should probably add. And the fight has gone fairly well for them too. So they might have a shot to go towards the objective again and try to lock in an additional wave of raiders. So yeah, that's going to be the next goal. Let's see what exactly the reason was why they paused here, but hopefully we don't have any big problems. And yeah, let's see who takes game number 1. I actually don't know exactly what the problem was, but either way has been resolved. Now then push for the objective. And as already mentioned, with Leoric coming back, that's just going to be a numbers advantage that the red team is not willing to contest. So this should be an objective for the KD agency. Whiteman is coming back soon, so does Lunara, but they will still be on the back foot, and I just don't see them trying to go for it. Very likely, Sylvanas with the next push is going to be in a position to complete her baseline quest and get all of that done too. And the heals will be amazing for her. So yeah, this is going to be pretty big. If you have that self-sustain outside of the damage as your first reward, then you're obviously in a really good spot here. But well, as we are having all of this happening out, yep, there it is. Objective is claimed. We got 12 kills to 5 now. On the damage side, 54,000 for Sylvanas, 43,000 for Lunara. I mean, she did a lot of work in that last battle as well. Once that she died, it was essentially easy cruising for the KD agency. But in these huge 5 versus 5 fights that we just had a couple of seconds ago, that AoE damage and all that damage over time that Lunara brings in is just brutal. Really difficult for Rhaegar to heal out, even with him now having also access to his level 20. So, the pressure through the middle. Anubarak already sitting up here at the top, apparently waiting for someone to sneak in and try and defend the top side. But they're, of course, aiming for keeps now. That has to be the goal here. I mean, at this point, you have to try and get some keeps destroyed. So, they're starting to make the play there. And we'll see if they can. In comes the Entomb. Sylvanas also with the damage at this point, trying to get a bit more done, disabling the keep as we speak. More damage through the raiders now, of course, as well. And, oh, there comes the no-scope ninja. A little bit careful. Straight jumping into 5 might not be the smartest idea. Top side, by the way, the keep destroyed, so already mad value there. First armor shield removed from the core, and in the middle they got dangerously close to eliminate another keep, and once this is gone, the red team can make plays for the core. So the KD agency is definitely ahead in the game, for sure. The question is just simply whether or not Team Cat Red can bring this back here. Quest completed for Sylvana, so she's now done with it. That's going to be a big help for her. No-scope ninja over here already has to rush out. Leo trying to get away too, but I think he's going to fall for sure. Kratodel. Oh, actually, he's not dead yet. Ah, there we go. Trade activated, and Maiev died as well. So now it gets interesting. Boss is back up in 40 seconds. Doesn't help them too much. But they can push for the bottom keep, and that is exactly where they are currently headed. So they are trying to take the bottom keep out first to see what they can do with that. And this is going to get real interesting. If they drop this one, then technically, and keeps at least, they are on eye level. But yeah, with Leo coming back, the blue team isn't really willing to risk it, so they're actually falling back here. I think they're gonna try and go for the boss now with Murden already anchoring the play in the bush. 7 kills, 2-12. Next objective also coming up. Of course, we have the pressure through the top lane, but with 2 armor shields still remaining on the core, that also means that it should easily be able to sustain itself throughout all of that and then just heal again. So don't really anticipate too many problems there, even with the boss taken at the top. Bot lane, on the other hand, that's a different story. I mean, once that this boss is claimed, the bottom keep is gonna fall. So the red team has to really think about how they want to do this now. Are they going to try and push with the boss and aim for the core? Because just taking this is not doing anything for them. The boss is not going to do enough damage. The boss of the blue team, on the other hand, is going to take the keep out 100%. They might not even need the boss. So they go instead for the objective. Each team taking a boss, but value is only going to be had for one team. The objective is a different story, though. They might not even have to push with this. So if they can just take the objective here, they're going to get more keeps for sure. They're trying to get more damage in on Malthael. Could push for the keep as we speak. Don't even have to wait for anything else. And, yep, Koa gets attacked. Boss is already on it. Same is happening on the right side. And that changes things a little bit, because now that the keep is gone, the boss is definitely a lot more dangerous. But they can still defend against this easily. Over on the red team side, we obviously see the same thing. So this is not going to be a problem either. I kind of expected the red team on the way back out to try and get more progress on the objective. But they didn't actually stop for that. But now we're having 67,000 damage for Sylvanas, 71,000 for Lunara. She's the top deer in the headlights. And yeah, Malthael gets killed in the middle. So that should shut down any place for the objective. Bunker has been used here pretty quickly just to cleanse out that silence. But Malthael obviously buying back. With no one can stop death, and on his way back into battle. Lunara, damage the entire time. Just using her ult here and really carpeting the entire area with acid. So, as is, the blue team needs to win these fights. They have lost 2 of their armor shields already. Here comes the attack, and again the heals from Rhaegar. Very nice healing output from him, but the blue team is still aiming for kills, and they get Sylvanas. Everybody is low on the blue team. Team Cat Red is on the run. But I was just about to say, as long as they don't lose anybody, they're going to be fine. But then both Blaze and Malthael fall. And we might also see Murden eliminated. He gets hit hard by the Entomb. Rhaegar gets murdered by Lunara. And Murden jumps back in as well. Should be shut down here, but Lunara is absolutely obliterating everything. Lunara is killing everything right now. They have to focus more on her. Leoric is dead, Maiev is dead, Anubrak is low. Lunara has added another 30,000 damage to her tally. It's absolutely bonkers. Lunara is currently single-handedly winning them the team fight, and she is destroying everything in her sights. Anubrak falls victim to her as well. The damage over time takes her out, and this is just an utter disaster right now. So this leaves us with 12 kills, 215. And for the red team, this is obviously a nightmare. They were heavily ahead. They were finally in a position where they took down 2 keeps on the opponent's side. And then they won the team fight, but Lunara just crushes everything. Now the objective itself is actually not taken. They got a bit of progress here, but the blue team wasn't able to claim it. So it's still being fought for. Next objective is very, very likely going to end the game. This is what we can expect now, 24 minutes into this. So yeah, it's a bit of a crazy situation that we have in front of ourselves. But at the end of the day, what the red team needs to do is they need to target Lunara. She needs to die. She needs to die, or to at least be pushed out of the fight a bit. Maybe come in with a nice disc. I mean, they have so many tools here. They have Cocoon, they have Disc, they have the Entomb from Leoric. It's about... worst case scenario, you Cocoon Lunara and then drop a Entomb on it and try and just burn her down. White Mane, of course, is going to Blaze as well. Is going to try and keep her alive. But they need to deal with Bambi. Bambi needs to die. or at least to be pushed out of the fight. If they chain discs and the cocoon, then they could maybe buy a bit of time there as well. But she just keeps doing her thing. Gets the ult out time and time again with all those stacks, and it adds up. Puts pressure on Rhaegar, and he can't deal with it. Once again, Maiev jumping out. Ancestral already hit very early. In comes the Entomb, but this is not looking too great. They're all clumped up. Lunara is getting value. White main got cocooned, but immediately saved again. And the red team is just clumping up too hard, and it allows Lunara to get some solid damage in. Time and time again, she just pops the ult. Is now at 126,000 damage. It's insane. The output in numbers is crazy. And yes, she's not able to immediately kill anybody, but she applies so much pressure to Rhaegar and just softens the entire red team up that they have a tough time getting into the fight. Now, obviously, the cores have been under pressure this entire time. The big advantage for the red team is that they removed 2 armor shields of the blue team's core. But, yeah, both of them are still totally okay here, and it is still about the objective. Muradin gets caught. Not really the one that you want to target right now, though. Malthael, yeah, he jumps out. They go for Leoric, and they drop him. Leo is dead, and even with him coming back quickly, there's the next attack. This time Lunara might have gone out a little bit too deep, and she gets murdered. That was the kill right there. That was the important kill, but the red team may be too aggressive too. They lose Rhaegar. They got too optimistic after they took Lunara out, but that was a massively important kill, obviously. Bambi just moving out a little bit too deep. Anubarak jumping in, and bam! Getting that kill. Now Sylvanas is back on her way into the fight. Them losing Rhaegar was a huge setback, and with the sustain gone, they have a problem here. The objective about to be claimed, 15 seconds remaining, and then Team Cat Red is going to lock that in. And Tomb is out, blue team in a bit of trouble, Muradin is low, tries to go to the bunker. Maiev jumps away, and Sylvanas is looking for a kill opportunity. The objective at least denied. They denied the objective for now, but this is still some nasty business. By the way, if anybody sneaks over towards the core, they could just end this. Imagine Sylvanas here for a second. So yeah, there is backdoor potential here now as well. We are getting later and later into the game, and obviously these waves hurt. Especially, I mean, pretty much exclusively the blue team. Right now, Lunara is back on her way into the fight. They have lots of damage against Maiev. They are trying to stop this from being reached, and Leo dies again. Activates his trade once more. Lots of trade value for Leoric in the game. 144,000 damage now for Lunara. Maiev is sitting at 105,000. With Sylvanas soon starting to cross over the 6-digit threshold as well. 15 to 16 kills. 31 kills in this game. 31 kills, but yeah, now they're going for the objective again, and it seems like they are going to claim it here. And I think once they do, this is just lights out. Ancestral already getting used by Rhaegar, tries to get the heal in on Anubarak, and I think this is where it falls apart. Anubarak is gone. Rhaegar maybe a bit too eager with that heal, but now the fort in the middle falls, and we're going to get the cavalry for Team Cat Red. They're in a great spot right now, and they're going to try and abuse this as best as they can. They're already opening up the wall at the keep, for example, and at a minimum they're going to destroy one keep, but they should be able to push for the core with this too. And we're now 28, 29 minutes in, so this hurts, and it hurts a lot. It's game number 1, by the way, in the series. So already the first map, an absolute banger between the two teams here, as we now have the blue team moving in, Leo trying what he can, Anubarak still dead, Kratodel about to fall, and this is just where it ends. Second armor shield removed, the core wide open, and big damage now coming together from Team Cat Red as they are locking in the victory. Or do they? They lose Muradin. Yeah, but the core is still falling. Lunara taking it. That's game. That's the lead in the best of 5 for Team Cat Red. GG. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Map number 2, Dragonshire everybody. Team Cat Red is in the lead after their performance on All Direct Pass. Now we got the KD Agency under a bit of pressure, of course. But this is a best of 5 series, so we have a few more games that the teams can play through. And yeah, it's going to get interesting here. Map choice was made by the blue team after the KD Agency decided that they want to have first pick. The 10 heroes on the previous map are, of course, now banned out. A side note, by the way, while we're here in the draft, also people have been asking in the comments just recently, they wanted to have some additional information about tournaments, how to participate, and just general info. There is a Discord link in the description of all the videos, of all the YouTube videos. So if you want, you can join the Discord server and you can ask anything you want there. So typically when we're talking about tournaments, there's a lot of announcements being made there. There's also additional information for those that want it. So if you didn't know, in the description of the YouTube videos, you have not only the Twitch stream link, but you also have the Discord server linked, for example. And you can just simply hop on there. And if you have any questions around tournaments or videos or anything of the sorts, then you can just ask them there. It's usually the easiest way to contact us. So, one ban missed even. Yeah. But we have Chromie eliminated. So Chromie banned out, Zagara banned out. Zagara obviously a fairly common hero to pick on Dragonshire these days. Are they gonna let this one go too? Okay, no, they're banning Dehaka. It would have been kind of funny, you know, just like both of the bans expire. Like, we don't need to ban anything against you. You guys are just plebs, you know, trying to be totally dominant here. I mean, back in the day, we had some stuff where in tournaments, for example, top teams in the first round didn't even pick talents against opponents that were just a lot weaker. And I don't really mind anything like that. You give yourself a bit of a handicap. But boy, there was always so much drama where people were then talking about, oh, how disrespectful. And I'm like, well, on the one hand, you could argue it's disrespectful. On the other hand, you give the opponent a bit of a chance. And if you just go full try-hard in every single game, then people are also complaining when you're stomping an opponent that is obviously weaker than you. And it's just the nature of tournaments. This is simply how that works. Every single tournament worth its salt is going to have top teams going up against underdogs in the first round, because that's how seeding works. So, yeah, Sergeant Hammer and Anduin are being taken on Dragonshire. So, kind of already telling us exactly what they want to do here. Protect the hammer. By the way, it's one of the most annoying things in the game whenever Anduin is just zipping Sergeant Hammer out there. There should be something where Anduin has to... There should be some kind of formula where the heavier the target you want to pull is, the more mana you have to use in order to do it. So if you have Stitches, for example, and he's a big old fatty, or you have, I don't know, maybe Diablo or Sergeant Hammer, you should basically deplenish your entire mana pool. That would be something that would be pretty cool. So you actually have to make choices on who you pull and who you don't. If there's Tracer or Murky, yeah, save them. They're light. There's no problem there whatsoever. Hanzo doesn't weigh anything. Leo, skin and bones, nothing else. So, yep, easy pulls. But Stitches is a chunky boy. Shogal, even more so. So that should actually cost more mana. There needs to be a little bit more realism in this. You can't just simply get away every single time just saying like, ooh, magic. So, yeah. Garrosh gets banned out. And, well, in the meantime, but next 2 picks for the blue team. After we now have Jojo and Hanzo. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this lineup right now, and I'm still waiting for a couple of the globals to come through. But Falstad, for example, honestly, what I assume happened here is that they missed the ban, and they just announced it in the chat. That happens oftentimes between teams. It's just good form. You know, you miss the ban, you don't hit the button in time, and then you just announce it in the team chat real quickly and say like, hey, we wanted to ban this hero. And then it's fine. Because if not for that, I do not have an explanation why Falstad hasn't been taken. They 100% announced a Falstad ban in chat because nobody's going for the birdie. And with both Brightwing and Dehaka banned out, there is no reason not to go for Falstad here. he's been consistently banned. So yeah, this is what happened. They just pressed the button a little bit too late and then announced in chat, hey, we want to ban Falstad, and the other team said like, yeah, no problem. We'll just continue through that. So we get Uther, we get Urel. More space to be created. Double support now too. Jihad likely with the main tank Uther, I guess. But they are going all in on Sergeant Hammer. And we get Genji together with this, so even the light bomb engage now possible with a swift strike. So, ladies and gentlemen, map number 2. The blue team is in the lead in the best of 5. Let's see if they can pull a little bit farther ahead here in the winner bracket final. It's time for Dragonshire. Team Cat Red in the lead, starting in blue over on the left side. Onigiri on Genji, we got Dryerlink on Urel this time. Very different lineup now for the blue team as they're going for a double support with Jihad on Uther. We got Necro on Anduin and then Urana on Sergeant Hammer with the Maelstrom rounds on level 1. On the right side of the map, the KD Agency with Simply on Jojo. We got McGiblets on Deckard Kane. Kratodel is playing Hogger. The no-scope Ninja on Hanzo, and then White Tiger with Li Ming. So, let's go. Let's see how they are going to play this one out. Sergeant Hammer, obviously, as your main damage dealer, so this is going to get interesting, for sure. Down at the bottom of the map. Well, you have also Genji, I guess, but Sergeant Hammer is going to be the one where they are trying to make sure that she is going to be consistently protected here. Both of the supports immediately down at the bottom of the map. And top side, we already have our 1 versus 1 established. So it's Hammer time. Yep, they're going to try and protect the Hammer as best as they can and see how much can be done here. It's all about the Sergeant. Hammer time all day, every day. And, well, is that going to be successful or not? The one thing that's already happening though is that we're having an attack right up here where they are trying to get that camp, and apparently the blue team is willing to commit to it, so they are attacking fairly quickly, but they are missing out, losing the camp, not even being able to kill a hero or anything, so that's a lot of time wasted for very little to nothing. So yep, that hurts a bit. That's kind of unfortunate for them here. All the way up at the top, we still have Urel going up against Hogger, but the difference between the two is now that one has the support of a mercenary camp and the other one doesn't. So they need assistance, and that comes in form of Genji, as he's trying to help out down at the bottom of the map. Of course, in the meantime, what we're also getting is a bit of an attack from the red team through the siege giants that they already got. Sergeant Hammer is, of course, still doing damage here. And in this case, actually not even doing damage, just moving out onto the lane, eating some damage herself, and then trying to retreat. They need to wait for level 7 abilities so that she can get mobility here. But, yeah, the situation right now is that the red team is just doing a little bit better. They also apply some pressure on the Dragon Knight itself. That gets quickly shut down. Sergeant Hammer, by the way, now with a barricade on level 4. The slight adjustments being made there too. And that wall is already gone. So right now the strategy is not really working out for them. Gotta say that. Yeah, a little bit of attack over here in the middle as well. Up to the top lane also 1v1. Genji gets a bit pressured and pushed. But down at the bottom of the map, that's where the real attack is now coming. And Sergeant Hammer is once again in trouble. And there's the kill! Yep, trying to pull the target out. That didn't work out, so essentially Anduin just pulling Sergeant Hammer directly into that combo. White Tiger getting the kill here. And yeah, this one hurt. This one hurt a lot. Kind of unfortunate there. I think Sergeant Hammer was mostly fine in that situation. And then all of a sudden, it's just like, bam, Anduin comes in and says like, you know what? You insulted my mother earlier today, so how about I'm just going to line that up a little bit better for Li Ming, just to make sure that she actually gets the kill. And talking about kills, whoa, 21 hit points. 21 hit points for Hogger, and he gets out. Li Ming, yeah, she's not gonna get out here. The ragdoll gets kicked around too, so at least they got a counter kill. I mean, to be fair, I think this is now 2 kills to 0 in favor of the blue team. Essentially, Anduin killed Sergeant Hammer, not Li Ming. Li Ming just became a tool in Anduin's hands, if we're completely honest about it. Now with level 7 talents, there's finally some mobility, and, well, Hanzo gets destroyed. It's a brother versus brother duel in the game, and with Sergeant Hammer, Genji has a strong ally that is now helping to get damage done. So now that we have the mobility, they are starting to do some work down here. So already a little bit of aggression on this. We have in the middle Onigiri still doing their thing. Down to the bottom of the map, obviously. The focus is again on Sergeant Hammer, as you would expect. Yeah, with level 7 talents, we also got Calamity. And White Tiger has so far been doing pretty okay. Lots of aggression from Li Ming. Doesn't seem like we're gonna get one of those hyper-aggressive... hyper-aggressive glass cannon builds, though. But with level 10, once that's ready, then we're going to also get Genji Light Bomb combos with Anduin also, I would assume. Oh my god. Yep. Sergeant Hammer is the primary target. And White Tiger is doing extremely well against Sergeant Hammer. I gotta say. Well, to be fair, it's the two of them. Yes, Li Ming is doing lots of damage, but so is Hanzo with all the poke. But Li Ming, for example, he had 14,000 currently. So she's the top damage in the game as we speak. There's continuous pressure from the red team now on the Dragon Knight. Uther comes in and just barely gets the interrupt. But the red team is pushing them. They are pushing them hard. And this is something that, I mean, eventually the blue team could crack here. Now they're waiting, of course, for level 10 abilities. Lots of combos that kick in for them. And we'll see how much more they can get with it. Urana also getting attacked and locked down again. And as you would expect, Li Ming, you don't have to ask her twice. She'll immediately be ready and start to dish out the pain. Yeah, and here come the heroics. With that, we're going to get Light Bomb. Genji is going to start being more aggressive. And Sacred Ground for Urel. Alright, bit of an adjustment here. We've seen that a few times, and it's always kind of fun. So Urel can YOLO that out, depending on what exactly they're fighting for. On the other side, we get the Wave of Force. And if White Tiger utilizes that properly, we could get some pretty interesting situations unfold in front of us now. So yeah, this should be fun. But Hanzo, oh, there's the light bomb, and yeah, I'm sorry, that timing was fairly off. And then Genji gets killed. That was a little bit of a meme. And now Anduin gets killed too, because he threw out a shitty light bomb. It would honestly be a shame if anybody clipped this. Oh my god, no! That is so unfortunate. So yeah, the Swift Strike comes as the light bomb is already gone. And then Genji gets put to sleep and immediately killed. Down at the bottom of the map, they're trying to go for Sergeant Hammer. Hanzo gets killed and Li Ming gets killed too. What is this? Meme City over here. The Heroes Global Clown Fiesta. They get the boss, or well, they get the Dragon Knight, and then the bot lane just completely turns into Meme Town. Look at this. So we're jumping down to the bot lane here. And then, yeah, the tower just destroys everything. Whoever said that the fallback towers don't have any value, huh? Whoever said this? Whoever said that fallback towers don't do anything for you? Lies. Lies. Viable. Viable. That fallback tower got more value than Sergeant Hammer throughout this entire game. So, yeah, gets the easy double kill right there. So, nicely done. But okay, so we got a couple of kills in. We have, by now, 4 kills to 3. Dragon Knight was able to take the fort out in the mid lane, so that's already structurally a nice advantage for the red team. The KD agency, not really had an experience or anything of the sorts, but hey, one step at a time. Sergeant Hammer wants to be part of the party too, as they're going over to the next camp. And we'll see how much they can do here now. I mean, level 13 talents are, for example, kicking in very quickly, so that's the next big pull. But the red team has just done better in this game. Let's just be honest about it. They're so far doing fairly okay here. They're always pulling a little bit ahead in structures and everything else. When you're looking at the raw experience numbers, then yeah, again, it's the hero experience for Team Cat Red that give them a slight edge. That's why they're still even in XP here. But generally speaking, the red team is in the driver's seat. They make the plays, they set the agenda, and they keep the pressure on the blue team continuously. Now, with Sergeant Hammer, you could eventually turn that, but so far that hasn't really happened. They are once again just sitting on the defense. And yeah, let's see. Genji comes in. And this time they get the proper hit. BFG also with some extra damage, but Deckard Cain is always ready. Deckard Cain really working for them in those situations. Top side also, the next attack against Urel, but Link is going to be totally fine here. Got some damage in at least on the wall, but obviously not enough yet. It's a little bit of a weird lineup here. You got Uther as the main tank, but then obviously the second healer in as well. But they are starting to have a bit of trouble with this. Genji's light bomb engages, those work nicely for them, but it's hard to get the pressure going. And Onigiri has to be, you know, the finishing... has to make the finishing move here. That's at least what it feels like. So again, Li Ming up at the front, Sergeant Hammer down at the bottom of the map, another combo from Li Ming. And you gotta give it to White Tiger. Li Ming has been the one to really keep the blue team at bay time and time again. Once that the blue team engages, it's Deckard Cain that shuts them down easily. But the biggest source of damage and pain is Li Ming. I mean, it's just what it is. So this hurts. All the way top side, we got now Link still in position against Kratodel. And another Dragon Knight gets claimed by the red team too. So this is the second one in a row now for the KD agency. Bit of an attack at the bottom of the map as they are again looking to get a kill. Not able to make that happen. And with very little to be gained at the bot lane, they actually decided to send the Dragon Knight up towards the top, help out Hogger, and try and take this one out. So Hogger is going to get some assistance again. And 10 minutes into the game, we not only have an early level 16 talent for the KD agency, but also the tools to take down fort number 2. Yeah, get the minions in as well. That's obviously also helping with the Inspire buff getting triggered, but that's going to be a fort. And the blue team is trying to do the same thing at the bottom of the map with Sergeant Hammer. They open the wall up, but they're not really able to get enough damage on the fort to seriously threaten it. They got level 16 talents now. That gives us the Glyph of Faith and also Benediction. But that seems a bit too little too late. Hogger. Sergeant Hammer gets out. Where's that Anduin pull when you need it, huh? Right there. Yep, this time successful. So the top fort has been destroyed. 2 Dragon Knights so far for the red team, and they were taking out 1 fort with each Dragon Knight. So able to make that work. By now, we're having, yeah, still a small advantage. Damage output alone, 40,000 for Li Ming. So putting into numbers what we already knew, that she is the biggest source of pain and hardship for the blue team. 27,000 for Sergeant Hammer, and Genji then 16,000. So not really all that much. Now, he is getting single target damage in on someone like Li Ming, but still, the problem is the same for them. Sergeant Hammer, with a little bit more work done, needs to get those heals too. Still on the other side of that wall. It's starting to become a 5 versus 5 brawl at the bottom of the map, as both of the teams are getting all their heroes involved. But Sergeant Hammer is low, and the shockwave just a second too late. Just a bit too late. But it's the, again, it's again the red team that pressures, that gets the camps, and is making the moves here. So Uther pushed back, Genji, a bit of trouble. Protected, by the way. And then Sergeant Hammer with attack after attack. And now at level 16 talents, of course, also with Giant Killer. So Sergeant Hammer can get more out from this. Ultra Capacitors are coming in eventually. White Tiger is trying to solo at the top. And yeah, Urel is still totally fine here. Pops her ult. Super low cooldown, obviously, if you're going for Sacred Ground. So not really a problem to use that. And then comes the attack down at the bottom of the map as they're making the next play for one of the mercenary camps. On the right side, Hogger has done the same thing, so he keeps applying pressure at the top. With the forts lost, or some of the forts lost, this of course also means that we now have full access to those shrines. Makes it easier to get a Dragon Knight for the team. And the attack at the bottom of the map is also coming in. So, off we go. 4 kills to 3. We're having a push for that fort at the bot lane, which the blue team has been trying to get for, I mean, ages. They've been working on this ever since the game started with very limited success. I honestly don't really know if they're ever going to get a single fort here. Genji got a Divine Shield and gets now fully stunned out and gets murdered too. So, here we go. 4 kills to 4. Genji eliminated. Still 18 versus 18 with a small lead in experience for the team in red. So, yeah, they will hit level 20 a little bit faster. And then all the way up at the top, we got Dryerlink trying to apply some pressure. But at the end of the day, the one thing that it feels more and more that the blue team just doesn't have anything to do yet. Blue team is just dying a slow and painful death. That's what it feels like. And I honestly don't really know how they could change this right now. They would need Genji to pop off, I guess, and get a Li Ming kill. And then somehow apply pressure, get maybe a Dragonite and push. But the next fort is lost. That's the final one. Uther might be able to survive there. Arrow, okay, soaked up for a second. Light Bomb. And the Dragonite with another quick punt. And Anduin is dead. Just as Genji arrives in the battle again. Level 20 talents are now available for them. So with that we got Bullseye in. We also have the Radiating Faith and we got Repulsion. But yeah, it just feels like the blue team doesn't have an answer to anything here. And I don't know if level 20 is going to change that for them. Could always make the argument that, hey, maybe at level 20, you know, they can turn things around, but I don't know really if they have the tools that they need in order to make that work. So right now we have Sacred Ground again used by Urel. Sergeant Hammer is nearly dead, barely makes it out of the fight. One more move by Jojo could have taken Sergeant Hammer out. So they're holding on a little bit longer to that bot lane, but it feels that all Team Cat Red can do here is delay the inevitable. If they can get Genji in with a good light bomb and maybe get a quick kill on either Hanzo or Li Ming, maybe the dynamic changes. But right now, for the last 16 minutes, I don't feel there have been any real successful moves. I mean, just look at the structures over here. Wall a little bit damaged, same over here. Wall is slightly damaged, and down at the bottom of the map, the fort has taken some damage, and that's essentially it. That's all that they accomplished in 16 minutes. Now we have level 20 talents on both sides. So this is really where they have to make some moves. They have the cooldown reduction now with the living weapon. That's nice. They got the hollowed ground over here too. So this is going to be pretty neat for them as well, I suppose. Divine Protection is in. We got the Ultra Capacitors, which is big. But they gotta do something here. They need to get a kill and then try and snowball these fights a little bit. Get themselves an objective. If they are, for example, able to get themselves those late game objectives, then they would be in a position where they can at least capitalize on the scaling of the Dragonite itself. Right now, that hasn't really been the case yet. But off we go. I'm starting to go for the shrines at the bottom of the map. Uther is the one to take over the first one, or try to. And instantly Li Ming is there and lands another combo. She's relentless. Absolutely relentless. Yeah. Sergeant Hammer eating damage again. The double support doing the best to keep them in play. It's a 5 versus 4 at the bottom of the map, by the way. Urel is now splitting off again. Oh, and there's the kill on Sergeant Hammer. And they try to go for Genji too. Blessed Shield into an arrow. Brother kills brother. Uther falls too. And that is now a 5 versus 2 on the map. And they might be able to get Anduin as well. The Uther Ghost is trying to keep him alive a little bit longer, but Anduin, of course, yes, he will fall here. It's just a matter of time. And then they can go for whatever they want. The Dragonite is about to be taken by Simply, and they're going to go for the keep and the core through the bottom of the map. I gotta say, KD Agency just looking way better in the second game. Team Cat Red, they never got a foothold here. Urel is the only one that didn't die on their end. But the blue team was just looking to somehow get control of the game, and it was never even close. From start to finish, the KD Agency just way stronger on the second map, and they tie the score in the best of 5 here in the winner bracket final with ease. This was a clean game from them. They played this extremely well. Urel gets now attacked and gets killed too, but yeah, that's all she wrote. And therefore, we're heading into game number 3 with an even score between the two teams. Nicely done. GG. And well played. Coming up next, we have game number 3 for you guys. Before we go, a big shout out to everybody that is supporting the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene live with all of the events and tournaments that we're hosting, then please consider to check out patreon.com/Khaldor and support the channel there. It's the best way to support all of the things that we're currently doing for the scene and plan to do in the future. With that being said, enjoy the next game of the series. Game number 3, Battlefield of Eternity. As the KD Agency took map number 2, we're now tied in the best of 5 series. 20 heroes have been played and cannot be played again. And yeah, this is starting to thin out the hero pool slowly. So let's see what we're going to get here. It was not really a great game for the blue team. Their draft just didn't work at all. And the KD Agency played it out extremely well. So now that we're heading into the 3rd map, we get Diablo as a very quick ban. So he's already out. And yeah, let's see what else we're going to get for the KD Agency. By the way, guys, while we have the Nations Cup coming up, also a quick reminder that we actually have a merch shop. We have a merch store. We got some hot butter through cheese merch in there. The one thing that still shocks me with that is that one of the best-selling articles in the merch shop is our apron. We have a hot butter through cheese apron, and when this was initially to me suggested that we should put it in there, I thought this was the silliest thing that I ever heard. And now it is one of the best sellers in the shop. So apparently hot butter through cheese apron makes any meal taste better. But outside of the hot butter through cheese stuff, we actually added now some Nations Cup merch as well. So if you want to support the stream and you want to check that out and you haven't actually seen that yet, there is a link in the description of the video where you can have a look, where you can check that out and see if there's anything in there for you. And again, the apron might be the highlight of the day there. Still wild to me, but yeah, it is what it is. So now that we're heading into our 2nd map, we got ETC banned as well. Seems like we have a heavy focus on the frontline bans, and here comes that false set ban. Remember that missed ban in game number 2 that was clearly communicated to be a false set ban. Now that we're heading into Battlefield, we get Vala as our first pick. What? I'm still not 100%, but getting there, getting better. It's kind of wild being... I'm not used to being sick for that long. That's new. So, Chen and Chromie are taken. Chen to create a little bit of space. Chromie for the range damage. Mal'Ganis can start to come in and set them up with a bit of a sleep. And then we get Oriel as well. Lots of Oriels lately. We had a couple of teams that go for the early Oriel pick and kind of threaten Cho'Gath, you know, try and bait out a specific ban against him. But right now, Oriel, she is getting played more and more and more. I'm pretty happy with the series, by the way, because we had in the previous loser bracket matches already amazing games. Now that we're going into the winner bracket and start off the best of 5s for the rest of the tournament, we are having 2 absolute top teams go up against each other here. And they've been playing amazingly well in the winner bracket, and now we get that direct battle between them. Tyrael gets banned, so no judgment into Chen follow-up or anything of the sorts. But over on the red team side, what main tank are we going to get from them? It's kind of funny to me. Team Cat Red has just like banned out main tanks. Like they just banned one tank after another. And then of course we have Garrosh also eliminated. So it really seems that they are trying to push certain picks here. Imperius, potentially as the main tank. They could still go for the triple front line. They could add also another tank in here. But White Tiger has traditionally played one of the damage dealers for the team. And we get now Ana for some Chromie support. So there's that. And yeah, let's see what the final pick is going to be. The final double pick. Over on the left side, we got still the need for a side laner for the top lane, and it's going to be Sonya. Sonya and Tracer. So Sonya and Tracer are going to be the picks here. We got Vala, we got Tracer for damage. Vala will likely go into an arrow build and then put the damage out on the Immortal, whereas Varian is the final pick for the KD Agency. We've seen Meme Blades the other day, just throwing it out there, but I still expect that this is going to be a typical main tank taunt Varian. So ladies and gentlemen, game number 3, let's go. Game number 3, it's party time. Let's go! Over on the left side, we got Onigiri with Vala, as expected. It is the arrow build. Dryerlink is playing Sonya. We got Jhard on Mal'Ganis, and then Necro with Oriel as Urana is playing Tracer. This is going to be a pretty aggressive setup that they are running here. Over on the right side, of course, we got the KD Agency with Varian played by Simply, so it's going to be taunt for them. White Tiger on Imperius. The triple front line is being completed by Kratodel on Chen. And then we have Megiblets playing Ana. The no-scope Ninja, last but not least, with Chromie. And it's time to party. Time to try and stack for Vala. And try and get some kills in for the rest of the team here. Who's going to walk away with the lead? Again, from here on out, things are going to get more and more complicated for the teams. Since obviously we are in the amateur scene. Yes, these are some of the top players within the amateur scene. But let's not forget that hero pools are still not quite on the same level as we're seeing from former pro players or current semi-pros. So as we're going into game number 4, game number 5, you will definitely have a couple of players that are forced into roles or into hero picks that they're not that confident in. And that is going to change things up significantly. So we'll see how this is going to work out. But game number 3, this is where one of the teams will get the lead. Nice Impale! And yeah, Jhard didn't go fully soft on us. He's still able to get out of the fight, so good for him. Sonya has rotated towards the top together with Tracer, so they're going for the camp up there, which means that each team walks away with 1 mercenary camp. Vala with 3 stacks by now. We got on level 1 also the Impaling Light for Imperius. Reminds me a little bit, by the way, of Anduin when I read those light talons over there. For Chromie, we get the Andoral Anomaly. Shut up. Seriously, you are just too excited about everything. The God Gnome once again just like doing their thing here. So, yeah, it is what it is. But the only thing that Chromie really deserves is the occasional slap. The problem is she likes it a little bit too much. Hard on the kinky side. Also, there's the kill. First blood, Varian. Sorry, second blood, Varian goes down. And the blue team gets their first kill over here. All the way up at the top, we're getting still our 1v1 now with the assist from the mercenary camp by now. Chen has to deal with that. By the way, a little bit of a yellow card here for Chen. I absolutely approve the skin, but the tint is not great. The black and white is obviously the best tint for that skin. I mean, again, this is just objectively proven that it's better than anything else. So a little bit of a fashion faux pas that was made by the KD Agency here. They are on point, though, when it comes to hero kills, as they lock in a second one, this time against Mal'Ganis. So Mal'Ganis gone. And they're stealing the camp, aren't they? They go for Oriel, she's dead, and they say, thank you very much. This is ours now. Oh, that hurts. If you're Team Cat Red, that hurts. A lot. So, yeah, I would be very unhappy. I would be very, very unhappy. I can only imagine team comms at that moment. So that backfired quickly. Oriel dies and the camp gets taken. Now, if they can translate that also into a lead on the objective itself, that will of course be even better for them. We'll see. By now we're having Mal'Ganis just slowing things down again. The blue team is already active at the Immortal and is trying to take this one on. But yeah, Chromie is firing away. We have Varian doing a bit of damage. The halftime show victory still goes to the blue team. But the attack is now on. So it is time to party hard over here. They're trying to make the next move. This time maybe also with another taunt. The first one was already in. This is a kill against Vala. And they get another connect with Oriel. And they drop her too. So Vala and Oriel both get eliminated. Chromie gets killed. Tracer gets killed. Jeez, everybody's all of a sudden dead or dying. Absolute bloodbath here in the middle of the map. With the red team getting a lead and trying to net themselves another kill against Mal'Ganis with success. So now we have 7 kills to 2. A lead in experience. And a very, very solid position for the KD Agency. They will likely also win the objective here. They haven't quite done that yet though, because Vala is still doing lots of work on the left side and now the rest of the blue team is helping her out. So this is actually not a given that they're going to get this. I think they're losing it. And yes, they do. The red team lost the objective. They took the team fight, with a huge margin, had level 7 talents, and then they didn't throw everybody against the Immortal, and they ended up losing the objective. So, fairly annoying from their perspective. Now a bit of damage over here. Tracer jumps in deep. Careful though, Mal'Ganis. Jayhart might be in trouble. Tries to get away, and ooh, the heal, was that enough? And the answer is no. Nope, it was not.
Nope.
Down at the bottom of the map now, they have to push with the remaining 3 heroes if they want to do some extra damage. The Immortal, basically the shield was non-existent. Is obviously in melee mode already, but gets damage in against the fort. Tracer trying to get back and gets killed to kill number 9. The little faux pas with the objective, with the Immortal, just ignored for a second. I gotta say that the red team is still doing very well here. So they're getting their kills, they're getting them quickly, which is kind of important, and they do just overall a great job on this. Now we have all the way top side currently. Dryling going for the next camp. Red team is busy at the bottom of the map. Could potentially use that to push. Vala, not really a lot of stacks for her. 8 stacks, not that great as we're going for Immortal number 2. So she has now a level 7 talent with Monster Hunter, but at this point in time you normally want to be a bit higher than that. So still salvageable, and this was a nice double combo that we just got from her. So Onigiri is starting to do some catch up. But, yeah, not quite there yet. It's gonna help one way or another with the next Immortal though, so that's a given. Varian, now they have level 10. That gives us also, of course, Wrath for Imperius. And we got the Nano boost for Ana. And topside, Chen, Mr. Keg. It's not going to be Triple Pandas, we all know it. You don't have to delay that. We all know what's coming, my friend. Chen is only going for the top shelf plays. My man wants the Keg. Give him a good rum, and there we go. Alright, White Tiger. Apparently in need of some mana, we'll see. Okay, and yeah, that's a kill. Okay, let's go. We actually have a a reservation with a couple of... Oh no, then no, not again! They steal the camp again. You gotta be joking. That's the second time that the Shaman camp gets taken away. And they lose Tracer too. Oh my god, the double connect from Imperius. Get wrecked. Everybody getting absolutely destroyed in that encounter. And that's just brutal. Oh boy, that hurt. Yeah, they got murdered here. Tracer was the first one to fall, and then look at that Imperius engage right there. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. 14 kills to 2 now for the KD agency. Them having level 10 abilities obviously helped a lot there. But I was just talking about the top keg plays here. Every single time that I see the Panda, that good old drunk playing out, I'm just reminded of some nice rum. And I actually have with friends a reservation in like in 2 weeks at one of my favorite restaurants in Valencia, and they have like an old-fashioned rum. So rum with ice, and I guess they're putting a couple of spices in there too. It is absolutely amazing. It is delicious. I cannot wait. So yeah, one of my favorite restaurants in Valencia, and they have fantastic food, great drinks as well. And that rum is one of my favorites, so I'm really, really looking forward to that. And every single time that I see Chen, I gotta think about it. Because again, that guy is running around with an entire keg, and in my head, there is a lot of rum in that keg. But where's the rum? It's in Chen's keg, as we all know. There's no rice, wine, or anything of the sort. It's all rum. But yeah, in this case, the blue team finally wants to get some kills as well. And they can't get them, can they? Instead, Tracer gets now about... She actually got out. They got Varian and Tracer got out. Good for her. Really thought Urana would die here. Chen kicked her into a corner. The funny thing is that despite all of the kills that the KD agency got earlier, they haven't gotten the objective yet. They won the halftime show, but now that they lost Varian, they might lose out on the main thing as well. So, yeah, White Tiger is rushing away here. Rest of the team is still trying to get a bit of damage done, but the blue team is already on it, and they might win this one. They got Vala. They got Vala with an arrow build. And Vala just slaps whenever she gets her stacks. She's not having any amazing amount of stacks here. 9-10 minutes into the game. But if you have your Monster Hunter on level 7, you have 19-20 stacks. This isn't gonna matter. So, once again, It's actually the second time now that the KD agency stole the Shaman camp and then proceeded to barely lose out on the Immortal. Maybe next time they should just give it to the opponent and see what happens then. That might be the smarter play here. I mean, who knows? Either way, it's a pretty interesting situation that we now have all of a sudden in front of us. So, yeah, here comes the aggression. Straight up through the top lane. The Immortal already doing some solid work here and getting the damage connected. The fort might fall. Sonya is definitely going to take the one at the bottom of the map, by the way. She's already busy there and there's nobody stopping her. So this might cost the red team 2 forts. They're still ahead in experience and they get another kill as they home in on Mal'Ganis and drop him easily. But as mentioned before, Sonya is getting the fort at the bottom of the map and all the way up at the top. The second one is getting destroyed too. Tracer might even die now as well. She's still trying to rush away here. Runs into the trap and is going to get killed. Chen showing no mercy, but that's kill number 16. It doesn't change the fact that the blue team hasn't lost a single fort yet. So, the KD agency, great on the kills. Pretty amazing also on a lot of the other plays that they're making on the map. But when it comes to actually taking structures down, they just suck. So, 24,000 damage for Chen, 24,000 for Imperius. On the other side, we got Vala with 26k. They got level 13 talents now as well, so they draw even, at least on the talent count. But the KD agency, they gotta do something here. As time continues, those kills are of course more and more impactful. Let's not forget about that. Basically, what it means is that with every single kill, the death timers are now increasing as time continues, so you have more and more control. And talking control, Aegis might have just saved Tracer, and yes it did. What about Imperius? Walks away from the fight once again. Up to the point where Tracer then just says, not on my watch, comes in, follows, and drops him regardless. So the caster curse striking quickly on that one. And somebody is pushing the top lane. Yep, Sonya is doing her thing at the top and is trying to get some damage in on the keep. The KD, I mean, honestly, I'm not quite sure what I'm watching here. The KD agency was massively ahead. They win the team fights, they get the kills, they're doing great. And then when it comes to the objective and just structures on the map, they get destroyed. And now they're trying to race an opponent that has an arrow-built Vala. Boys, good luck with that. So they have to throw the entire team against it. Vala essentially did it by herself. And the halftime show victory, yes, it goes to the red team, but by the smallest of margins. And it was basically just Vala doing her thing. Here comes Leap. Jump into the backline. Chen is immediately there to try and save Ana. Aegis is being used. And can they get a kill? Tracer gets killed. No way. Yeah, here comes Varian. And there it is. The kill on her. But Sonya is already on the objective again. They really need to stop them now. If Immortal after Immortal is being claimed by the blue team, then the red team can kill as many heroes as they want, but they won't be able to get anywhere with it. Now they go for J-Hard again, and yes, Mal'Ganis falls. This is actually the 6th time that Mal'Ganis is destroyed, so he's gone. Sonya is pushing again for the top side keep. Nobody's stopping her. A little bit of damage done down here at the bottom of the map, and I guess this time around they will get it. And Sonya should honestly fall. I mean, they got a shot at her. Varian is now coming in too. Sonya does not have Leap ready. 4 seconds. There's the taunt. And that's a kill. Leap wasn't ready in time. The keep, yes, it has taken damage. Chen is securing the bot lane. And now that they're sitting at 19 kills to 4 and level 16 talents, they just gotta do something with the Immortal. I honestly, they need to go to the top lane quickly. They're allowing the red team, sorry, the blue team to defend again too easily. Vala has all the time in the world to get some free shots in with her arrow. The shield is instantly removed, and that's little damage. So they dive behind the wall in an attempt to get the kills there. Vala is getting kept at bay. They go for Oriel and get the kill there, but they need to deal with Onigiri and keep her away from the topside fort. And they are able to finally pull that off as the blue team locks in level 16. So it's 14 minutes into the game, but the KD agency finally gets a kill. It's a weird game. The blue team is now starting to more and more focus on the PvE and push out the side lanes. They're not really that heavily focused on teamfights anymore, for good reason. But with nobody reacting on the red team side, they might lose that bottom keep. I honestly don't understand the decision making from the KD agency. They want to go for the keep here, which is fairly clear. But their timing is off. You're losing too many hit points on the bottom keep, and I don't understand what for. And earlier, when you had a chance to push at the top lane more aggressively, they were late to the party, allowed Vala to drop the shields on the Immortal quickly. And now that the fight continues, Tracer has all the time in the world to get them to keep at the bottom of the map. I don't understand what they're doing. The red team is losing a game where they are ahead by 16 kills. 16 kills ahead, and they're losing even when they're winning. They won an objective, and they lost more structures than the opponent did. That's crazy. So now they're just trying to team fight it out. If they win the fight, then they have maybe a shot, but they're losing Ana quickly. And now they're getting pressured back. So I don't see it. They want the kill on Oriel, and I guess they might... Nope, there's the heal. Oriel is still alive. Chen goes for the Keck and barely makes it out, but Imperius gets killed. And even Chen might fall. I think he's going to get away. Nah, now Tracer comes in, and that should be the end of him. Yeah, Tracer coming in, doing what she can, and that is Chen eventually also eliminated. Team Cat Red is going to win this. I'm telling you. Right now, they're actually trying to go for the core as we speak. But this is insane. This is absolutely insane. Then again, Mal'Ganis dies within seconds, so maybe not ending the game here right now. But structurally, it is absolutely undeniable that Team KD Agency... I mean, KD Agency is making such bad decisions on the macro level. It is mind-blowing. I honestly think that they're currently in a situation where they are pretty much just too narrow-minded on what they're doing. It happens, again. Sometimes you get tunnel vision, and that's just what's going on. You feel like you have one shot, you need to go for an aggressive play, win a team fight, and go for the core, and that hasn't worked out for them yet. But somebody has to, for example, deal with the top lane now too. I guess Imperius is going to deal with the Shaman a little bit. The problem is that the KD agency just needs to really tighten things up now and go for a big Immortal and then push with it in time. Not let the blue team defend. And for the blue team, they're still playing around them. Blue team is still playing around the opponent, trying to push for structures again, trying to sneak in Vala, for example. And already Mal'Ganis is double checking what's happening over there. Vala is on her way and is going to get some arrows connected. Once that she has level 20, she's likely going to go into Acrobat, and that's going to be even worse. But yep, that's the red team losing out on the halftime show. And the top lane is pressured. That keep is soon going to take damage, and there's even catapults and the core. Guys, KD Agency are 14 kills ahead, and they're going to lose the game now. They're going to lose the game here. It is going to happen. So now Sonya is leaping out again. Ana has already fallen. Top lane, as I said, is pushing for the keep. They go for Chromie, and she gets killed by Tracer. The last ditch attempt here. Vala gets finally murdered, so that's the good news. But now the top lane gets attacked. Varian dies. Tracer doesn't care about that at all. She just wants to keep. Gets damage in there. The team fight still ensues over on the left. We have level 20 kicking in. Vala has 38 stacks by now. Still not insane, but obviously much more impactful than what we previously had. And the keep is gone. No keep anymore for the KD agency, and Vala is just starting to attack the core, which is going to force the red team to at least send a few of the heroes back and retreat. They might actually... they might just jump on it with everything that they have. They could just go for the Immortal, honestly. Once you have the Immortal, you're going to lock that in. And if you're the KD agency, I think keyboards are going to break here. I certainly know that my keyboard would be an endangered species if I played on the red team right now. They were 14 kills ahead. 14 kills. They won every single team fight and then just didn't play it serious enough around the objective.
didn't send all the heroes in to take them down. They stole the opponent's shaman camp a couple of times, and they just made bad decisions on the macro end, allowing the blue team to go for structure after structure to take all of them out, to take the objective multiple times. Now we have a big immortal pushing through the bot lane, and it's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. The KD agency is just hoping for a big team fight where they can get a 5-man wipe. That would possibly allow them to bring this back. But outside of that, I just don't see it. Chen is already attempting to buy them a little bit of time. We had Tracer pushing through the top, gets attacked by Varian and taunted, but still able to get away. The shield has been damaged, and now we have it about to be eliminated. 12 kills ahead and about to lose the game. Dryerlink is coming in. The core is losing hit points, and Team Cat Red takes the lead in the best of 5 series here in the winner bracket final. I mean, GG and played.
Game number 4, Infernal Shrines. Well, I don't believe that the red team is too happy about what just happened on the third map. Team Cat Red has the lead right now, and honestly, it's a little bit crazy that they won this one. The KD agency making a couple of questionable choices, even though they were dominant in team fights, they were not able to win it, so now the blue team pulled ahead, and we're going into the 4th map of the series here in the winner bracket final, which of course means that 30 heroes have by now been played and cannot be played again, so those are out. This is going to limit the hero pool further and further. On Infernal Shrines, Tychus and his transformation still powerful, so he gets banned. Same true for Mephisto. I would assume that the blue team is most likely going to be forced to ban Falstad, since the KD agency has first pick, first ban, so Falstad first pick would go a long way for them. I just don't think that Team Cat Red is going to allow that to happen. So, yeah, small chance of that going to be a thing. Let's see how this is going to play out now, though. We have Garrosh banned as well. Keep in mind that the blue team, for example, throughout the series had a really big... they had a really big beat in their bonnet, just like trying to ban out one tank after another, but being Infernal Shrines and this now being game number 4, things have changed slightly, so we still have Diablo, for example, around and a couple of others that could be taken. I don't even know why this takes so long. I would be shocked to not see a Falstad ban here. That would really blow me away. Game 4 and you allow Falstad through? Oh my god, they actually do it. Okay, so Diablo is banned, so they are still targeting the front line. And there's the birdie. That was telegraphed. Apparently, the blue team thinks they can deal with it. Alright, let's find out if they can, I suppose. Focusing on the tank bans, which means very likely that they're going to take their own now very early. But yeah, Falstad is going to be a big asset for the KD agency. You have a global and you have a really nice damage dealer as well. Specifically, of course, with frequent flyer, which we're likely going to get here. And then the chance to get those stacks together, get those quest rewards, and really bring the pain. We get the Haka and ETC. Good front line for them. Jhard likes to play ETC. The Haka is great on any map that you can run him on. On Infernal Shrines more so than on a few others. But still, I would assume that the red team is very happy with how this played out so far. So, well, let's see how that goes. We have match point number 1 in the best of 5 series. Tyrael, Brightwing now the choices. There is a chance. Judgment into Hinterland Blast. Just saying, we could go old school today. Drop a Nova in and then get the precision strike going, and all of a sudden we have an old school alpha sniper comp. It would be kind of funny. It would be pretty fun, but we'll see. So right now, what we're getting is a ban on, drumroll, D.Va. So they're eliminating D.Va as a tool on Infernal Shrines and the explosion that you can get there too. And then over on the right side for the KD agency, what's it gonna be here? What are they getting rid of? That's gonna get interesting. It's gonna get really interesting now, because again, you have to find some tools that are good at dropping Falstad here. And Genji has already been played, just to name one example. Gul'dan has a lot of AoEs, that's another one. And yeah, time will tell.
What is the blue team going to play now? The Haka alone is going to be nice to just try and jump into the backline and see if he can get the leg on Falstad. But they need also some proper damage dealers. And they need some AoE for the shrines as well. The Haka alone is not going to cut it here. The Gul'dan is already banned. They go for Zagara, alright. And we get Malfurion together with it. Technically, you could go into a Maw plus Root as a follow-up. And that brings us to the final 2 picks for the KD Agency. Side lane is still needed. And they need a bit more damage. So. Kinda curious. I mean, at this point... Give me that Nova. It's not happening, by the way, but it would be funny. They get Ophia, and they go for Arthur. So, Tyrael Arthurs. Yeah, we are really starting to run out of tanks eventually here if this continues. If this goes to map number 5, I would expect Diablo and Garrosh to be still banned. And then we're definitely thinning out the herd a little bit. So the final pick, Zagara, again, she alone is not going to cut it. Getting a mage, you could go Kel'Thas. I mean, again, for Infernal Shrines, not the worst choice. You get another CC tool as well. So if you want to go for a mage, Kel'Thas, Jaina, both still up. Both available here. And they go for Greymane. Alright, fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, match point number 1 for Team Cat Red. And we are going into game number 4. Team Cat Red is in the lead, 2-1 as we're heading into game number 4. And on the left side, we now got Onigiri on Greymane, Dryerlink on the Haka, Jayhard on ETC, Urana on Zagara, and Necro on Malfurion. The KD Agency, on the other hand, with a very disappointing game number 3, I guess. The no-scope ninja now on Falstad will go for frequent flyer. I would be surprised if you went into the lightning rod build. We get Simply on Tyrael, Krotodel on Arthur's, McGiblets with Brightwing, and then White Tiger on Orphea. And oh my god, imagine my shock. Frequent flyer as the level 1 talent. No! So, yeah. Goes for the obvious talent and is going to try and stack this quickly. So at least in the early game, a heavy focus on PvE is what we're going to get from him. Yeah, Arthur's with a trade build, at least initially. Now, the blue team, you could argue they should have lost the 3rd map. Fact of the matter is, they didn't. So now it comes down to whether or not they can here on the 4th map take their opponent down and claim this one. This is going to be a huge opportunity to close out the series early, and the KD Agency is very likely going to try and be aggressive about it and shut down any attempts of their opponents to get the lead here. But Orphea gets licked and murdered. Nice Howling Blast there by Arthurs. Full on choke point control, but the aggression initially went down. So, that's kill number 1. Orphea is gone. Again, not really the biggest setback in the game or anything of the sorts, but it's one of those moments where you're just like, oh, another lick. And another kill. Bye-bye, Arthurs. Guys, this is starting to get a bit annoying for the red team. They nearly got a kill on the Haka, and then it failed, and now they're losing ground here. So, we'll see how this plays out. But suffice it to say that at least in the earlier stages, it's not really a glorious opening for the KD Agency in their attempt to tie this one up and bring this to game number 5. So, can they still pull it off? We'll see. Right now, it's going to be tricky. At least in the early game. But alright, so for now, what we're getting is with level 4 talents, again, Shando's Clarity. So, once more, there's still a big argument going on, by the way, if that sounds more like a wheat brand and Malfurion just keeps smoking it up all day, or if it's more, you know, like a little bit of a spirit, maybe some alcohol in there. I personally think Shando's Clarity clearly sounds like he's drinking. And Malfurion, I think it's fair to say that he has a bit of a drinking problem. If you ever locked him in a custom match, for example, and put the ready button, I mean, he's basically just like putting his hand out there, and you can see really the shakes that he has immediately. That hand, I mean, he's clearly an alcoholic. He needs to go to some AA meetings, and he needs help. He needs help. If you have that face, that beard, and you haven't gotten a haircut in the last 10,000 years, then obviously you need help in the first place. But the man clearly has a drinking problem, and we shouldn't just enable that and ignore it. We should really just make sure that there's an intervention coming at least at some point. It's just what it is.
2 kills to 0. A little bit more aggression out down at the bottom of the map too, as once again we had Ophia push back and had to pop the fountain here. Top side, they're trying to go for the Haka. Yeah, but this time the lick misses. Now, the objective is already up. The blue team is about at level 7, so they already have an advantage here. Urana with interesting juke moves that don't work out. I think if she still started to run away, she might have actually been able to escape. This way, though, she gets killed, so that is a 1 kill finally for the red team. Now, the question that still, of course, remains is what's going to happen on the objective, and I guess we're going to get a Mortar Punisher for free, since the red team never really made any big moves in order to claim this one. So, how much damage can be done here? It's a question to be answered in a moment. We'll have level 7 talent lead for another second or two, and Zagara doesn't even bother to go into the middle. Straight up moves down to the bottom of the map and is trying to apply pressure there. So they open up the wall, get some damage in on the fort, and Zagara is going to ensure that they're getting more damage down here. Went with level 7, by the way, into the Vicious Asset. So a little bit more Baning slow. Yeah, could utilize that. And insta damage against Ophia, who definitely doesn't like that. So over here, yeah, they work some more damage in. Forset is now at 50 stacks, so he's just 8 shy of him getting the quest reward, the first one, which is going to help a lot. But they're getting damage in on the fort. Dehaka now rotating towards the top. Onigiri, though, maybe a little bit too far out here. Greymane gets attacked. They're trying to lock him down. Arthur's obviously with the aura a really nice tool to have against Greymane in the first place. We'll probably spec into this a bit more aggressively when we're heading into the later stages. Especially, of course, level 16. But hey, time will tell. All the way up at the top. A bit more damage being done by Dehaka, as he has a lot of time on that lane. So yeah, no problem. Fully ignores Tyrael Toon. This is like, what are you gonna do? Nothing. So I'm just starting to take this out, and then, yeah, we'll talk later, dude. So they're still totally okay here. And for the red team, this means pressure. If they lose here, they drop down into the losers bracket. They wouldn't be out of the tournament yet. They would be automatically in the losers bracket final. And they would have another chance to get into the grand final for revenge against Team Cat Red. But if we're going to get there or not, that's a different question. We get Malfurion with Twilight Dream. Could follow up on Morse, for example. Moves in as we speak. And, yeah, a little bit wishful thinking here for Malfurion, I think. I mean, he connected at least with Ophia, but everybody was already on their way out, so that wasn't a problem. Now we're getting a few more hits in against Ophia, and the schoolgirl is gone. Good route from Malfurion, making up for the earlier ult that didn't really accomplish a lot for them, and that's a fort. So they take the fort at the bot lane out and claim an advantage in the game. 3 kills to 1. Should probably not go too deep here, but this is already a step in the right direction for Team Cat Red. So that was an important first move to make. 88 stacks for Falstad. Our boy is getting there. With Arthur's just barely about to complete his level 1. Went into Syndragosa. We got Judgment. Oh, and the Gust attempt. They go for Zagara, and yeah, fully isolated. No chance over here. Malfurion didn't even try anymore. Maybe hoping for a counter kill here. It's the problem with Zagara. I mean, she is really on the squishy side. And now Greymane gets killed, and all of a sudden, all of that aggression that we're seeing from the red team is paying off. They get a good lockdown against Malfurion, and they drop him too, and all of a sudden, we got a triple kill. So, the lead in experience still in the hands of Team Cat Red, but we now have the red team slightly ahead in kills, and with a shot on the next objective. So, the KD Agency, they're making the plays at the right time. Exactly what they need here. And they're going to try and walk away with the next Punisher. And obviously, Falstad, again, if he gets to the second quest reward, that's a massive damage increase that he gets there. It's going to be pretty big. Dehaka against Brightwing, we all know who's going to win that battle. Spoiler alert, it's not Brightwing. And they're getting the camp over at the top left, but yeah, nobody's moving in for that Punisher anymore. They're just trying to get the camp so that they can use it to help defend a little bit. ETC is still sitting in the mid lane. Yeah, Dehaka is now coming in too.
Still waiting to see if we're getting maybe a decent mosh pit. I mean, Malfurion obviously gambled a little bit with the Twilight Dream here, so they have less sustain in the team fight. But if they can just queue that up properly, they can do a lot. Imagine a decent Maw against 2-3 heroes, and then a follow-up from Malfurion and ETC. They could really destroy the entire team. Here comes the mosh! And the heal saves good old Tyrael. That was well done. There was a gust, and then also the big heals coming out to save Tyrael in that situation. Could have been a kill, but Judgment, and bye-bye ETC. Syndragosa comes in, Malfurion is now dead as well, and all of a sudden the KD agency with their big plays and moves. They take 4 heroes out, only Zagara survives, and this will shut down the top fort immediately. So yeah, looking really strong here. 8 kills to 3, and this time they're getting the structures with it. That was one of the problems that they had earlier when they were getting kills in team fights, but they were just not able to do anything with them. So now the situation is just looking way better for them. This is looking much, much better. Bit of aggression at this point through the middle of the map as well, opening up another wall and getting some access to the fort. Might even be able to get some additional hit points in on this one. So, yeah, time will tell. But either way, we have now each team down 1 fort. So some good attacks that we're getting from the red team. The blue team hasn't really given up on anything just yet, obviously, and why would they? But the one thing that's definitely happening here is that the KD agency is starting to slowly pull ahead. 1 level lead in experience. Structurally not looking too bad here either. Last couple of team fights have gone their way too. So if they can maintain that momentum, then we might see game number 5 in this one. So, we'll see. All the way up at the top. Dehaka. I mean, Dehaka... Yeah, you have Falstad and Dehaka. Dehaka, by the way, is running into 5 now. Good luck, my friend. They want him. They're gonna get him. So he's now gone, and that means 180 stacks for the no-scope ninja on Falstad. Falstad is currently sitting at the 2nd quest reward, is working on the pinnacle reward, and brings good damage out now. Obviously, has focused very heavily on the minions first, but now ETC goes down, so he's being eliminated as well. And there we go. Zagara dies next. Falstad is flying in. I mean, they're wrecking them right now. They're absolutely wrecking them. The birdie with 77,000 siege damage, just focusing on structures, focusing on minions, and just getting closer and closer to the pinnacle quest reward. You might have to go down to the bottom of the map and deal with the camp at least here, or the wall is going to be opened up. But even if that happens, they could live with it. They're just eliminating fort number 2, and they're getting farther and further ahead on all of this. So, 200 stacks for the bird. And I just don't see Team Catrat come back. They got some wombo potential. If they can unleash one of those, that would be the ticket back into the game. First, they need to get level 16 talents. If they can get to that point, then yeah, maybe. So, let's see. 3 kills to 11. Shrine soon activating. I guess they're going to get level 16 more or less in time for it. Dehaka. They want him. And they're gonna get him again. Yep, Dehaka's dead. No chance. Yeah, we're gonna try to tunnel out, I suppose, at the beginning, but now it's too late. Unless they're getting a kill against Falstad at the bottom of the map, they can just kiss the next Punisher goodbye as well. I just don't see how they're going to make the move here. So, yep, objective is popping up. They will get level 16, but they do not have Dehaka for another 20 seconds. Now, to be fair, he can, of course, tunnel in. That could help them with a quick, decisive fight. But the red team is now pulling ahead on the objective, as you would expect. So, they're getting there. Greymane with the Lord of his pack. Zagara now with the Corrosive Saliva. And Dehaka is back. Has his ult. They could try and make the play here, but Greymane isn't here either. So they're letting this one slide. They still have a fort at the bottom of the map, and they just let this one happen. Good for the KD agency. Another objective for them. We get the Arcane Punisher. And yeah, even the camp that they can still claim here. By the way, when we're talking about Arthas, he went, for example, into the Biting Cold over here for some extra damage, but Embrace Death was still the full Death Coil build. not speccing anymore into his trade or into aura control against Greymane. Not that they needed it. There's the triple maw! There's the triple maw! Where's my slide, my gust, my Twilight Dream, my mosh pit? And they all get shut down on cooldown. Malfurion is dead. So is Zagara. I think this was the best chance to set something up, but Forset ruined it with a gust quickly. And now, with the Arcane Punisher and Syndragosa being used, the bottom fort is gone. They lost 2 of their heroes, and they're losing more and more ground at the bot lane. Desperately trying to some way hold on to this, but this is looking more and more like game number 5 is definitely in the cards for the series. The keep should fall. I do not see a world in which they can save the keep. Maybe they can hold on to the core for now, but then the question of course becomes just for how much longer. Keep is gone. They have nearly level 20 and they're pushing a little bit further. The Punisher though is destroyed. Yeah, Falstad gets attacked. 125,000 damage for Falstad, by the way. And he's at 263 stacks here. So, yeah, in comes ETC again. Low and gets out. So ETC is able to walk away once more. Barely. And top side, the wall has also been destroyed. So even more damage done here. And off we go. With 20 talents in their hands, we now get the Angel of Justice, and we got Absolute 0 as well. So, what is the blue team going to try and do now? I mean, at this point, honestly, just spray and pray. We got there. Also, still with a really good positioning in utility too. His hero damage is not looking all that insane, but look at his siege damage just for now, and just imagine him getting actually the Pinnacle Quest reward as well. Falstad is already moving in, and the single target damage is definitely there. Immediately proving it against Malfurion and just murdering. If Falstad gets the kill, here comes the mosh pit, and instantly Orphea with the damage. They go for the Haka first. Gast is in too. ETC is trying to get away. The Haka is already gone. They're killing everything. Everything inside is getting murdered. And this just opens the core up. Zagara is currently on the run here, trying to survive. No chance of that happening. Falstad gets the full quest reward. Gets the pinnacle reward here. And that means another 125 additional damage. So he is an absolute murder machine here. Doesn't matter against what. 5-man team wipe as we have a victory for the KD agency on Infernal Shrines and move on to the final map of the winner bracket final in this best of 5 series. GG, well played. Game number 5, Towers of Doom. So, this is where it gets interesting. 40 heroes have been played and are now out of the hero pool. And this is obviously going to make things quite tricky for some of the guys here. Given the fact that Falstad actually made it through the draft somehow and was played, and that previously they focused very heavily on tanks being banned, we could now see the ban on Diablo, on Garrosh, and then what's actually left? I mean, after that, what are they going to go for where they feel confident that they can win the front line? Mei, for example, hasn't been played either, so it's not like there's nothing left. There are still a few choices available. Cho'Gall being another one, of course, and he gets banned. Towers of Doom is going to be our final map in this best of 5 series here at the winner bracket final. Medivh gets banned too, which actually means that most of the tanks are now making it through the draft. So not gonna be a frontline choke after all. I mean, maybe they're banning one out right now, but Garrosh, Diablo, Mei are still all up, and obviously plenty of others. So, yeah, there comes the Diablo ban, which could lead to the KD agency moving into Garrosh. There it is. And Simply on Garrosh has been doing well, so this is a great first pick for them. It's a really nice first pick for them. I don't believe for a second that the blue team is happy about this. So, Team Cat Red, what are they going to do now? Tigers has been banned. They go for Zul. Great for the rotation between lanes to clear the waves and get the experience there. We get Deathwing together with it too. That's a real dragon, by the way. That's a real dragon.
Not Trashwing or, I don't know, Chromie or something of the sort. It's none of these pretenders. Those fake dragons. Now we got a real dragon in the house. Stitches is, by the way, up too. You could go Stitches Alexstrasza. That's still a combo. That's still something that you could go for as well. Get those hit points up. A couple of globes in for him. But with Garrosh taken, they take Alexstrasza and they go for Mephisto. Yeah, Alexstrasza obviously good on the support side, and also if the opponent at any point had an idea or like an attempt to go for a Stitches Alexstrasza comp, that essentially shuts it down as well. We're not going to run out of supports either, since we have Morales, Karazim, and a couple of others still up. I don't want to mention Lily here. And the Stitches ban. Better safe than sorry. Vikings also eliminated. So yeah, everybody's just like looking at the remaining heroes and they're thinking, what would be a pick that we are super uncomfortable playing against? And that means that heroes like Cho'Gall, Vikings, Medivh, and Stitches are very quickly disappearing. So, blue team with Stukov. And here comes Mei. Yeah, we talked about her a bit earlier. So you have now Mei in play. We get Mei, Zul at the front together with Deathwing. So technically a triple front line. A triple melee setup. And we'll wait for that range damage. There are still plenty of mages up, but if you want to have a sustained damage dealer, then Suljin would still be an option. On the mage side, Kel'Thas, Jaina still available, to just name two. And with Mephisto also taken, they could go Suljin themselves. Cassia, another good pick. Yes, D.Va and Cassia. So we got Garrosh. Oh. Garrosh could throw a couple of D.Va bombs around. So, yeah, that's also a thing. Or could throw somebody into a D.Va explosion. Question for me is just now if we're going to get an auto attacker with either Jimmy or Suljin now for Team Cat Red, or what they are going to lock in as their final pick. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the final map, Towers of Doom. So we're once again going down to the last map of the series. It's Zeratul. Okay, interesting. Final choice here for the blue team as we are heading into Towers of Doom, the last one between the KD Agency and Team Cat Red. The final map of the series. On the left, in blue, we got Onigiri on Zul, got Urana on Zeratul, Jayhard on Mei, Dryerlink is playing Deathwing, and we get Necro on Stukov. Over on the right side is the KD Agency with very nice success on the last map. They did much better there. They are now playing this with the no-scope ninja on Cassia. We got McGiblets on Alexstrasza, Kratodel with D.Va, and the White Tiger with Mephisto. But, last but not least, we're looking at Garrosh, played by Simply, and this could be a problem for the blue team. I actually think that the KD Agency is very, very happy with the draft that they're running here. And they're already applying some pressure on Mei. Now, it's not enough to seriously threaten her life, but at least they got some damage in. And damn, that's a barbecue and a half. Simply nearly going down. So, that was a very nice one. Yeah, job well done. So that was some cool moves that were made right there. And it nearly led to a kill against Garrosh. Another flip and another stun. Mei getting targeted once more. But we have the aggression at the top. Still with Zeratul obviously roaming. I mean, Zul is the one that is dedicated to roam the lanes. But then Zeratul can also match that and help him out a little bit. Yep, camp about to be taken down here too. More stacks for Alexstrasza as she went straight on level 1 into the Circle of Life. And then over on the left side we get Shadowhunter for Zeratul. Deathwing does not like Mephisto. It's a pretty big hitbox. Fairly difficult to not hit that. So yeah, he is definitely not a fan of that whatsoever. Just sitting there like, dude, can you just like leave me alone? Get the hell out of here. But not happening. Now, we have an invade happening over on the bottom left side. Now, D.Va isn't here. They're still getting the camp with ease. So the KD Agency already off to a decent start. At least up to the point where they lose Alexstrasza. That's first blood in the game for Team Cat Red. No Scope Ninja dies too. And I don't think that was really worth it. 2 heroes falling, maybe even 3 for 1 pumpkin camp. I'm not so sure about that. So, Deathwing, as I said before, Mephisto likes Deathwing.
and the opposite isn't quite the case. It's too much damage and a big hitbox, and Mephisto has been doing pretty okay here. So they get at least one counter kill, which means now level 4 on both sides. D.Va all alone up at the top, went for the nuclear option on level 4. Alexstrasza with a surge of vitality. Nowadays, surge of vitality just means that you injected some botox, I guess. The hot topic right now. I never really understood that, by the way. Botox is one of those things that apparently is supposed to be not that bad. I don't know what happened to just, you know, aging normally. Why is that a bad thing? I don't understand. So you got a couple of wrinkles. Who cares? It's like, keep yourself fit, do some sports, and the rest, I mean, never really understood that. I actually have quite some conversations with friends that are full all... Spain in general really loves, like, not only that stuff, but also plastic surgery and all of this. Never really got that. What's wrong with just, like, aging like a normal human being? Like, yeah, whatever. Not really my thing. But when I read something like this, a surge of vitality, then I think Alexstrasza definitely went under the knife and got a couple of injections over there. So that's probably what it is. Now we have the triple altar phase up. So far it's just been the usual exchange at the top left, top right. The battle therefore centering down at the bottom of the map on the final altar. And Mei is in trouble. Gets that block out. Still a bit low. He's not the only one though. We got the Dragon Queen in. And instantly the damage. Stukov is also a bit low. And they're aiming for Zul, trying to take him out too. And it is, as usual, Mephisto that does the work. So, party time. Now, they are actually... Oh my god, Deathwing gets away with 30 hit points. Alright, baby. All the way up at the top. There comes the attack, starting to take that one out as well. We have, in the middle of the map, still a bit of pressure from D.Va. But, yeah, generally speaking, the KD Agency has taken the lead here. Not only on the core, they're doing well in fights. Might not have taken a big lead on the kill count, but they already opened up the wall at the bottom of the map, applying pressure to the bell tower, trying to do their thing there, and could also try and steal even more of the pumpkins away. Big damage coming in from White Tiger in particular, so yeah, Mephisto is doing well. Stacks nearly completed for Alexstrasza. She's getting there, closer and closer to the 15 that she needs to complete a level 1 quest and give the entire team a bit more sustain. Deathwing though, this is one of the coolest things with Deathwing. Just from the animation alone, just him engaging like this is always epic. It just feels great. But right there, they have to retreat. And it is still a very close game. I mean, again, game number 5, obviously. So if you have a 5-mapper coming in, this is what you would expect from the start. But the blue team also firing back as best as they can with every single play that they make. But generally speaking, it still feels like it's the red team that is in more control right now. So everything again towards the top, but Deathwing might be the one in trouble. Cassia comes in. For a second I really thought she missed it and isn't able to connect that, but they get the kill on Deathwing, and now they're coming through for Jihad in an attempt to take Mei down as well. And she still survives, isn't she? No, they're getting her too. She was close though. She was close to getting away there. Zul, there's the flip, the stun. Don't tell me they can get him too. Stukov has already fallen, and if they can take Zul down as well, that would of course be the dream here. They have a lot of momentum now. Half a level of an advantage, 3 kills ahead. Quest completed for Alexstrasza, so that's big too. They take the early level 10, which is also very, very nice for them. And yeah, this is looking great. So they're doing work. They're absolutely bringing the pain right now. And that bottom bell tower, for example, is already getting dropped very low. And could be converted at essentially any moment in time once they apply pressure. It helped, of course, to have the early level 10 abilities. Let's not kid ourselves here. Deathwing with a superhero landing. There's the Void Prison. Yeah, they went VP with this. And Zul, no choice just yet. Alexstrasza gets the heal. And Zeratul gets murdered by Cassia. Mephisto trying to get out. I suppose... Oh, well, actually, I think he's going to make it, isn't he? So Mephisto is actually alive. D.Va against Zul at the top. Deathwing turns into Deadwing once again. And I think this is a little bit of a theme here. Deathwing is actually dying a lot. This is the 3rd time that the big bad dragon got taken out already. So not really a nice track record for him. and it extends the lead in experience for the KD agency. On top of that, of course, we're getting right now more and more shots fired, and with the bell tower conversion already being a thing, that's 5 points off the blue team score. May is trying to take this back a bit. Good luck with that, I suppose. But yeah, top side, this is where we're now still having D.Va in control. Down here, they're holding on to the bell towers. 5 versus 3 situation with a bit more map control that automatically comes with it and allows Cassia, for example, to get more pumpkins. But yeah, it's a bit wild. Interesting also to see the VP here. Not your typical choice for Zeratul these days. Might of the Narazim build are extremely popular for a reason. I mean, that's really when Zeratul turns into that Surgeon's Scalpel that allows you to take heroes out with precision. But right now, with VP, you normally try to set up a bit of a wombo or to section someone off from the opponent's team, so I'm not quite sure that I really like that particular choice here. Zul gets taken out by D.Va, that's bad. I mean, losing the 1v1 on the top lane, that's a problem. Pumpkins even made it through now against the blue team's core, and Deathwing is again under pressure. They're trying to also pressure the bell tower in the middle and at the top lane a little bit. Both of them slightly damaged. VP again? I don't think that's going to be enough. Nice snowball though. That one was good. That one was good, and they get the kill. So Cassia goes down. Was a quick move here. Mephisto dies as well, but May, the D.Va explosion is too much with the follow-up that we get. But Mephisto also went down, so now it's 10 kills to 4. We have level 13 talents any moment for Team Cat Red 2. And it's a 5 versus 3 bell tower situation still, as we have the horizontal spawn on the altars. So 5 more shots fired by the team. Actually, Deathwing is trying to interrupt this. Let's see how long he can make that work, because eventually it's gonna fall apart for them. They need a double channel though. Yeah, they just let this go for now. Zeratul has already moved down to the bottom of the map and is trying to do this thing here. Double channel has now been initiated, and obvious. I mean, if you already go for double channel, at least move a little bit farther away, boys. There's the hit, and now the 5 shots get fired. It gave the blue team a little bit more time down here. But a push against Garrosh eliminates him. Nice move by Stukov. So gets the perfect angle on the shaft and pushes him out. It's kind of funny, by the way, when I look at the talents, I just see the Polar Vortex icon, and I immediately think like, oh, Arthas went for the Frozen Tempest, for the Frozen Waste there. And then I remember that Blizzard just got lazy and reused the talent icons over and over again from different heroes. So, yeah. But the first time that I glanced down there, I was like, ooh, Arthas, look at that. Yeah, here comes the Poison Nova. Bye-bye Zul, though. Even with May coming in and trying to get the snowball going, he is gone. And they're actually going in for May. They're trying to get some damage in. Yeah, Jihad is able to get out. Blue team has a bit more time to steal the opponent's pumpkins at the bottom of the map, which is what they're aiming for right now. But we have that level 16 talent kick in for the agency. Deathwing immediately attacked. Mephisto is instantly there. And now, while the pumpkins connect and the blue team retook their bell tower at the bottom of the map, there is still an advantage for the red team. Garrosh doing his thing pretty much alone as the Void Prison hit 3. But this is a bit of a problem, of course. That Void Prison, if you can section off somebody on the opponent's side and then get a numbers advantage for a short period, that might give you a kill. But I'm still not really too happy with that choice. I think they could do more with a full Might of the Narazim build and then try to go for Alexstrasza, Mephisto. Maybe Cassia too. Have to be a bit more careful with her, of course, because of the blind and everything else. But he has now 16 versus 16, and we have the altar phase, the vertical spawns by the 2 of them. Down at the bottom, the no-scope ninja is not going to get this one. This is an easy one on the other hand. Stukov. Oh no, sorry. I keep forgetting about Deathwing. I mean, every single time that I see this, I'm just looking at it and I'm like, ah, they got this. And then Deathwing comes in and starts to interrupt them like, oh, I knew I forgot something here. So Deathwing with a superhero landing realizes the only way how he can go for the double interrupt and pulls it off. They are still fighting it out at the bottom of the map, which ties down May. So the main tank currently not part of the battle. But over here, the lockdown on Stukov, and it's another kill. Mephisto, he still receives a couple of heals. Dragon versus Dragon.
And Zul is dead. So is... Sorry, Zeratul is dead. Zul is still alive, but Mephisto goes down. Yeah, I think Mei is not going to make it, though. And now that leaves only Deathwing, and he alone is not going to be able to pull that off. So the blue team just lost 3 of their heroes, and that should be a double channel. That's 8 more points fired against the blue team. They're going to lose a lot here. And oh, damn, that damage output. Oof. Nearly a kill against Deathwing again. 33 stacks to 13. And at the bot lane, they're trying to take the bell tower control once more. So, yeah, it's getting a bit dicey for the blue team. 1 level behind, kill after kill. It's actually amazing that they're only 1 level behind, by the way. There's an 8 kill gap. So, structures. In structures, they were able to do really well. And I honestly don't understand. No, actually, no. I was about to say, that makes no sense whatsoever. Where's that advantage for them? They're a little bit ahead in minion experience, but they're so far behind on so many points here. So, yeah, level gap for them. Just feels like it should be a bit bigger. So, once again, the bell tower conversion down at the bottom of the map. The VP, as I said, I'm not really looking at those void prisons and I'm saying like, oh my god, these are the plays. These are the ones, you know. This is what's going to change the game for them. So by now we have the attempt from the blue team to try and retake the bell tower at the bottom of the map again. But Zeratul just gets chased around a little bit, is in real trouble, and nearly dies, might still die, and does. Cassia gets the angle and drops him. Zeratul is gone, and we have a triple altar phase coming up, which means that technically this game could end right here. 2 ways how that would work. Way number 1, you get all 3 altars. You win the team fight, you take all 3 altars and you claim it. If you only take 2 altars but you win the team fight, then you can still go for the boss and end the game that way. And of course, in addition to that, we have a couple of pumpkins also pushing through, so they could make a difference as well. Already the channel at the bottom of the map. Deathwing is going to try the interrupt again, but they have the double happening. And yep, eventually this is going to be a thing for them. Well, Deathwing actually decides that it's time to fight over here. D.Va is potentially trying to take this. At the bottom of the map, they're still playing the slow. Deathwing took damage, but the blue team is on the way. So, yeah. Oh, Meg! Girl, you're low. You're really low. You gotta be super careful here. And yeah, that's not what I call careful. So, that's a kill. Mei is gone. Deathwing is dead. Top side is still the battle. D.Va against 2. And D.Va is going to fall, and they get that 2nd altar. Good for them. But they're losing everybody else at the bottom of the map. So now it's 18 kills to 7, but at least they get another 3 shots fired. So that means that the game cannot end right here. They could get more bell towers, though. EP is getting used here. Boss is obviously still up. 5 points on the core. 1 more altar is going to end it. And they want that boss. It's a 2 versus 4 on the map, and I just do not believe for a second that Zul and Zeratul would try and contest this. This is a horrible idea, and they're obviously instead just moving down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to get the bell tower back. 46,000 damage for Deathwing. 4 more shots fired, so 1.227, and the level 20 talents already for the KD agency. It was a hard-fought battle, a hard-fought map. But right now, the red team is extremely close to move on to the grand final and drop the opponent into the losers bracket. They're not there yet, and this is still the biggest comeback map in the entire map pool. So, shouldn't call that too early, but things are generally looking very, very good for the KD agency. It's not only the points on the core, it's the kill count too, and the way that the last couple of fights have been going. Something to definitely pay attention to. But we have level 20 now on both sides. Mortal wounds are in. Unwavering pressure for Zeratul. And the upgrade with the cascade for Mei. So, time to party. Is that going to be enough to turn those fights around? Already, Garrosh getting attacked here. They're trying to go for the kill. And Garrosh goes down. They get it. Garrosh is eliminated. And there's no counter kill right here. We also have the attempt from Cassia to make a play with her ult. That didn't connect with anything either. So the blue team actually making a decent play and move. That allows them to get the altar, I suppose. And they might be able to build on this a bit further.
So that was an important first step to a potential comeback. That would be wild, by the way. If they come back here, that would be wild as hell. Especially if you consider how the best of 5 series went. Big shove, and yep, getting the explosion out, so that's not a thing. Mephisto, that damage output. Boy's doing work. Deathwing is dead again. Deathwing gets deaded. And now this altar isn't necessarily going over to Team Cat Red anymore. Oh, but they get Diva. What about Stukov though? Okay, Stukov is gone too. Zeratul is going to try and get the channel. There's an interrupt for Mephisto. But the rest of the team needs to move in order to get this done now. And Zeratul, yeah, has to dodge the Valkyrie. So they keep it in play. And now it's a 4 versus 3. In comes Garrosh. That's Zeratul gone. And this should be game. They come in for Zul. They take him out too. And that is a victory for the KD agency. They make it happen. It was a hard-fought match. And it went down to the wire. But at the end of the day, it's a 5-man team wipe that seals the deal of Team Cat Red. The KD agency moves on to the grand final, and Team Cat Red drops down into the losers bracket. Nicely done, GG, and well played.